You were caught filming protests by Chinese workers, famously in 2002 as a freelance journalist at the time. You were suspected by the Chinese government of spying. You were deported from China.
When I started as a young journalist, I was subcontracted by PBS to do a documentary on China's WTO entry. And one major issue about China's WTO entry, of course, is worker rights. And at this time in China, there was a major restructuring of the state-owned enterprise system.
What Professor Jiang described is very common between 1998 and 2002, when China carried out a brutal wave of economic restructuring. More than 30 million workers were pushed out of the state-owned enterprises. The purpose was to reduce direct state control, liberalize parts of the economy, and meet the conditions for the WTO entry. The social cost was enormous. China at the time did not have labor laws. The labor compensation in terms of severance pay was minimum. Many workers who lost their jobs took years to find new ones. Even university graduates in some sectors faced very bleak prospects. What saved China was actually timing. The early 2000s happened to be one of the best decades in the global economy. As the export sector booms, many of the old heavy industries that once looked inefficient and outdated in the late 1990s suddenly found a new lease of life after 2001. In fact, by as early as 2004, some sectors were already showing signs of excess capacity. Coastal provinces wanted to move even faster. Local governments were pushing growth aggressively, sometimes without waiting for coordinations from central government, even if that meant straining energy supply and causing inflation. The economic debate soon became political. The argument over how fast China should be growing and whether coastal China should have the autonomy to grow faster eventually escalated into a struggle at the top of the party. It contributed to personal reshuffles at the highest level and eventually shaped the political succession that led to the current leadership today. But that is the story for another day.